What if the car brand you trust today disappears tomorrow? The U.S. auto industry is facing a crisis, with iconic names stumbling, sales plunging, and dealerships closing. This isn't just about cars, it's about your money, your job, and the future of driving. Which brands are on the brink of collapse? What does this mean for your next car purchase? Stay with me as we uncover the shocking truth behind these struggling brands and how you can avoid being stuck with a car that has no future. Don't miss this. Nissan, the once mighty giant, now on its knees. They were once a beacon of affordable innovation, a company that captured the imagination of millions with its promise of reliable, forward-thinking vehicles. The brand was a staple on American roads, commanding more than 8% of the United States market at its peak. Yet today, Nissan finds itself barely clinging to 4% market share, a dramatic fall that reflects a deeper crisis within the company's walls. Once viewed as a pioneer in electric vehicle technology, with its groundbreaking Nissan Leaf, the brand now fights for survival amidst a tangle of financial chaos, leadership failures, and an eroding consumer base. At the heart of Nissan's troubles lies a cascade of missteps and missed opportunities. The failed merger with Honda, a move intended to secure Nissan's future and combine the strengths of two automotive giants, instead exposed glaring weaknesses in the company's financial and operational strategies. The collapse of these talks not only shook investor confidence, but also signaled a lack of clear strategic vision. As competitors surged ahead in the evolving market, Nissan struggled to keep pace. The fiscal year ending in 2025 revealed a staggering loss of $4.5 billion, a financial blow that laid bare the company's vulnerability and prompted plans for dramatic restructuring. The once celebrated Nissan Leaf marked an early triumph in the electric vehicle landscape, introducing many Americans to mass-market electric driving. However, Nissan failed to build on this momentum. While Tesla and Hyundai pushed aggressively into the electric vehicle arena, continuously innovating and expanding their offerings, Nissan's electric portfolio stagnated. Newer models lacked the appeal and performance necessary to compete effectively, leaving consumers to turn toward other brands. This failure to capitalize on a pioneering position has cost Nissan dearly, eroding both market share and brand prestige. Compounding the issue is Nissan's dealership network in the United States, which has grown disproportionately large compared to current demand. Many dealerships are burdened with unsold inventory, creating an environment where aggressive discounts and incentives are the norm just to move vehicles off the lots. These deep discounts, while necessary for short-term sales, undermine brand value and profitability, contributing to a vicious cycle that Nissan has struggled to break. Prospective buyers become conditioned to wait for markdowns, further depressing full-price sales and prolonging inventory buildup. Consumer perception of Nissan has also suffered significantly. Reliability, once a cornerstone of the brand's reputation, has declined sharply. Reports of transmission failures, electrical faults, and quality control issues have become frequent topics among buyers and industry analysts alike. This growing distrust has a powerful impact on purchasing decisions, especially in a market where longevity and dependability are paramount. The lineup of vehicles, many criticized for outdated designs and uninspiring performance, does little to excite or attract consumers, compared to competitors like Toyota and Honda, which continuously deliver innovative and reliable models. Nissan's offerings appear lackluster and uninspired. Leadership instability has only deepened the company's woes. A series of scandals, including the arrest of a former chief executive officer on charges of financial misconduct, followed by rapid leadership turnover, has created uncertainty and disrupted any coherent long-term strategy. Without stable, visionary leadership, Nissan has been unable to formulate or execute an effective turnaround plan. The internal turmoil has further shaken confidence among employees, investors, and customers, raising serious questions about the company's future direction. In response to these mounting challenges, Nissan announced plans to restructure its global operations, including a workforce reduction of approximately 20,000 employees and the consolidation of auto plants from 17 to 10. These efforts aim to streamline production and cut costs in a bid to return the company to profitability by fiscal year 2026. However, the scale of the restructuring underscores the severity of Nissan's predicament and the steep mountain it must climb to regain footing. The brand's future is precarious. Should the restructuring fail to stem losses or revive consumer interest, Nissan risks joining the ranks of other once iconic car makers that have quietly exited the United States market. The company's struggle is a stark reminder that early innovation and past successes offer no guarantees in an industry defined by rapid change and relentless competition. Nissan's story is far from unique in the shifting landscape of the American car industry. Another legacy automaker, one that once embodied American luxury and ambition, now finds itself fighting a battle for survival that feels just as desperate. The challenges facing Nissan pale in comparison to the hurdles confronting this next storied name. Look, we dug deep into the latest industry data and insider info. Now you have the quickest guide to which car brands are really at risk. If this helped you avoid costly mistakes, hit subscribe and join the conversation below. Chrysler, a legacy brand on life support. Once celebrated as a cornerstone of American automotive pride, Chrysler has seen its glory days fade into near obscurity. The brand, synonymous with bold design, innovation, and family vehicles, now exists as a mere shadow of its former self. What was once a symbol of American engineering excellence has dwindled to a lineup of just two models, the Pacifica minivan and the Chrysler 300 sedan. Both vehicles struggle to find a foothold in a market dominated by sport utility vehicles and crossover models, leaving Chrysler's future hanging by a thread. Chrysler's decline stems largely from a lack of investment and strategic direction from its parent company Stellantis. Formed through the merger of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and Peugeot Société Anonyme, Stellantis has shifted focus to more profitable and globally recognized brands such as Jeep, Ram, and Dodge. This reallocation of resources has left Chrysler starved for the financial backing necessary to innovate and compete. The brand's product development budget has shrunk, and there have been no significant new model introductions since the early 2010s. Consequently, Chrysler's lineup has stagnated while competitors surged ahead with fresh designs and cutting-edge technology. The market's evolution has further marginalized Chrysler. Consumer preferences have shifted decisively toward electric vehicles and SUVs, categories where Chrysler's presence is weak or non-existent. The Pacifica minivan, while well-regarded among family vehicles, faces fierce competition from Toyota and Honda models, known for superior reliability and resale value. The Chrysler 300, once a bold symbol of American luxury and power, has not seen a major redesign in over a decade. Its aging platform and dwindling appeal render it increasingly irrelevant in today's automotive marketplace, where sedans have fallen out of favor. Internally, Chrysler's struggle is compounded by the broader corporate strategy within Stellantis. There is speculation that the brand is being maintained more for nostalgia than as a viable business, with limited investment and an unclear vision. Chrysler risks being folded into another brand or completely phased out. Discussions have surfaced about repurposing Chrysler as a specialized division under Jeep or Dodge, possibly focusing on premium electric mobility or luxury transportation solutions. However, such transformations would require significant financial commitment and a clear strategic plan, resources, and clarity that have so far been lacking. The electric vehicle revolution presents both a threat and a potential lifeline. While competitors aggressively develop electric lineups to meet evolving consumer demands and regulatory requirements, Chrysler has been slow to adapt. The brand's failure to develop a sustainable and competitive electric vehicle portfolio leaves it vulnerable as industry dynamics rapidly change. Without a serious pivot toward electrification, Chrysler's survival in the modern market appears increasingly doubtful. Despite the grim outlook, Chrysler has shown resilience in the past. The company once survived near bankruptcy by introducing groundbreaking products like the minivan and leveraging strategic partnerships. However, the automotive landscape today is vastly different, and nostalgia alone cannot sustain a brand. The loyal customer base that once revered Chrysler's vehicles is aging, while younger consumers increasingly seek brands that align with modern technology, sustainability, and innovation. The financial realities are unforgiving. Annual sales have plummeted from over 200,000 units in the early 2010s to fewer than 100,000 in recent years. With rivals investing billions to capture the electric and crossover markets, Chrysler's stagnant approach only hastens its decline. Chrysler's plight serves as a cautionary tale of how even the most iconic names can fade without adaptation and investment. The brand's future hinges on whether Stellantis will recognize the need for radical reinvention or quietly allow a pillar of American automotive history to fade into obscurity. It still fights to stay relevant. Meanwhile, another brand wrestles with a legacy of reliability issues and shrinking consumer confidence. This struggle exposes a crucial challenge in the industry: reclaiming trust and redefining identity amid rapid transformation. Alfa Romeo, luxury without reliability. Stunning design and thrilling performance can't save Alfa Romeo from one fatal flaw: poor reliability. For those who have ever fallen in love with the idea of an Italian sports car, Alfa Romeo represents something special. The romance of the open road, an engine note that sounds like a symphony, and a presence that turns heads wherever it goes. Alfa Romeo's heritage in motorsport is legendary, and their recent offerings like the Giulia and Stelvio showcase the kind of dynamic handling and sleek looks that have always defined the brand. Yet beneath this sculpted surface lies a painful truth. Alfa Romeo's beautiful machines have never managed to shake off their reputation for mechanical misfortune. The Alfa identity crisis is impossible to ignore. Alfa Romeo aspires to stand among the world's luxury titans, with ambitions to compete toe-to-toe with German manufacturers such as Bayerische Motorenwerke, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi. However, Alfa's signature is not just design, it's also the headaches that come with it. Reports of chronic transmission failures, inexplicable electrical gremlins, sensor malfunctions, and sky-high repair costs follow every new model, like a shadow cast by a fading legend. This pattern is not just a few isolated incidents either. Reliability rankings consistently place Alfa Romeo at or near the bottom, leaving even the most loyal fans wary of investing in what should be a dream car. The joy of driving an Alfa comes at the price of sleepless nights, waiting for the next dashboard warning light to flicker on. This creates a dangerous problem with perception. On one hand, Alfa Romeo is still admired for its daring shapes, Italian charisma, and a driving experience that truly stands out in a world of sterile, soulless machines. When an American buyer is deciding between a new Giulia and a Bayerische Motorenwerke 3 Series, it only takes one Google search to tilt the decision. That sinking feeling only deepens when you learn how difficult it can be to find spare parts, certified mechanics, or even a dealership within reasonable driving distance. The financial woes at Alfa Romeo run deeper than just repair bills. Despite a passionate following, Alfa's actual market presence in the United States is threadbare. Fewer than 20,000 vehicles found homes with American buyers last year, a number that, when compared to the monthly sales of rivals, barely registers as a blip. Parent company Stellantis, which oversees a vast stable of automotive brands from Jeep to Peugeot, has shown increasing impatience with divisions that fail to pull their weight. Stellantis is a global behemoth, but resources are finite, and when it comes time to decide which brands deserve fresh investment, Alfa's long-standing struggle for sales and its reputation for unreliability make it a constant candidate for the chopping block. Internal reports from the company have made it clear: brands that cannot achieve profitability or demonstrate a clear path to growth will be reviewed, consolidated, or potentially dropped from key markets. Part of Alfa Romeo's challenge is existential. The brand's emotional pull is undeniable, yet emotion alone cannot build a business case strong enough to justify ongoing losses in the United States market. The stakes are not just corporate. Owners, employees, and local dealerships all stand to lose if the parent company finally pulls the plug. A decline in sales translates to shrinking service networks, which only compounds the reliability problem, creating a vicious cycle of declining confidence and vanishing support. The effect ripples out into communities that have invested in Alfa Romeo dealerships, local parts suppliers, and regional service centers. If Alfa exits the market, it will not simply be a blow to a luxury segment. It will mean lost jobs, shuttered businesses, and disappointed enthusiasts. Is there any way for Alfa Romeo to rebound? Some industry analysts believe that a radical rebranding, one that embraces electric vehicles, improves quality control, and leans into Alfa's racing heritage, could carve out a niche for the brand as a true alternative to the mainstream. Others see the possibility of a smaller, more focused Alfa Romeo, one that sells only the highest margin performance vehicles and specialty models to a devoted global audience, abandoning any pretense of mass market appeal. Improving reliability, however, is not optional, it is essential. Without dramatic, visible improvement, even the most eye-catching new models will continue to be met with suspicion rather than excitement. While Alfa struggles with an identity crisis, another brand's downfall is even more straightforward, being forgotten entirely. The next story is not about luxury or performance, but about a name that once meant innovation, excitement, and value, now slipping quietly into obscurity. Mitsubishi, from rally champion to forgotten brand. Once a rally legend, now a brand you might have forgotten, Mitsubishi's story is one of missed opportunities and market abandonment. Mitsubishi was once a badge that promised excitement, with machines like the Lancer Evolution earning global acclaim on rally stages and city streets alike. Those glory days have long since faded. Today, Mitsubishi's presence in the United States is so small that many car buyers do not realize the brand is still for sale. This disappearance has not been dramatic or sudden. It has been a slow, painful slide into irrelevance. The numbers tell a bleak story. Mitsubishi's market share in the United States has now slipped below 1%, an astonishing fall for a company that once competed head-to-head with Toyota and Honda. Shrinking sales have led to a wave of dealership closures, further eroding the brand's visibility and making it increasingly difficult for buyers to find a showroom or a service center. This vanishing act from the American automotive landscape does not just impact new car sales. It undermines resale values, parts availability, and confidence in the Mitsubishi name. Why did Mitsubishi fail where others adapted and thrived? A critical reason is the brand's chronic lack of innovation. While competitors poured investment into electrification, safety technology, and fresh designs, Mitsubishi's product lineup stood still. The Outlander, the brand's last remaining hit, is a capable crossover with a plug-in hybrid version. Still, it now feels dated against rivals that have leapfrogged ahead in features, performance, and efficiency. Meanwhile, efforts to update or replace older models have been sporadic, often arriving too late or failing to meet market expectations. The discontinuation of smaller models, such as the Mirage, has only narrowed the brand's appeal even further. Mitsubishi's strategy has often felt defensive, focused on cost-cutting and risk aversion rather than bold moves. Attempts to regain relevance, like fleeting partnerships or limited releases of new vehicles, have not been enough to shift public perception or drive real market share gains. Instead, the company finds itself dependent on a single model in an increasingly competitive segment, a gamble that leaves it exposed to any shift in consumer preference or market disruption. Consumer confidence in Mitsubishi is at an all-time low. The reputation for uninspiring performance, basic interiors, and outdated infotainment systems haunts every new release. Car buyers looking for reliability, advanced driver assistance systems, or even a bit of excitement have found more compelling choices elsewhere. With each passing model year, the gap between Mitsubishi and its rivals grows wider, and the public's memory of the brand's rally-winning heyday grows dimmer. Could anything bring Mitsubishi back from the brink? Industry observers see only a few paths forward. The brand could seek out a major partnership or acquisition, aligning with a global automotive giant willing to invest in new platforms, electric vehicles, or cutting-edge technology. Such a move might breathe new life into the lineup and restore confidence among consumers and dealers. Alternatively, Mitsubishi could become a regional brand, focusing on markets where it still holds some influence. But this would likely mean conceding the American stage for good. Perhaps the most telling sign of Mitsubishi's predicament is the absence of controversy. Unlike the headline-grabbing scandals or executive dramas at some rivals, Mitsubishi's decline has been marked by a quiet, almost invisible retreat. There have been no public battles, no viral moments, just a slow, steady loss of relevance in an industry that punishes stagnation. The writing is on the wall, and unless something extraordinary happens, Mitsubishi may soon become another name added to the growing list of brands lost to history. Mitsubishi's fade into obscurity is a cautionary tale for any automaker tempted to rest on past achievements. Yet the storm buffeting Mitsubishi is not unique. In the rush toward electrification, even bold new entrants have found themselves overwhelmed. The electric revolution that is reshaping the car market has already left one high-profile name struggling to survive, one that was supposed to represent the future, not the past. Lucid Motors, the electric vision that struggled to ignite. An electric vision that once seemed unstoppable is now struggling to prove it is more than just hype. Lucid Motors burst onto the automotive scene, with grand ambitions to revolutionize the electric vehicle industry. Hailed as the next major disruptor, it aimed to challenge Tesla's dominance and redefine luxury electric cars. Early prototypes impressed with futuristic designs, blistering acceleration, and record-breaking ranges. Investors eagerly poured billions into the company, hopeful for an American-born brand that could conquer the global market. Yet, despite this promising start, Lucid now fights for survival, its glossy image revealing deep cracks beneath the surface. The company's lofty goals soon clashed with harsh realities. Production failures and disappointing sales have defined Lucid's recent journey. Promises to deliver tens of thousands of vehicles fell far short, with actual output lagging significantly. In the calendar year 2024, Lucid produced about 8,500 cars, but delivered only around 6,000, well below expectations. Manufacturing delays, supply chain disruptions, and quality control issues have hindered scaling efforts. Early buyers of the flagship Air model reported software glitches and inconsistent build quality, raising concerns about long-term reliability. This inability to fulfill promises shook investor confidence, causing the stock price to tumble and intensifying financial pressures, threatening the company's future. The electric vehicle market is brutal, and Lucid faces fierce competition in a crowded landscape. Established giants like Ford, General Motors, and Volkswagen are investing billions, leveraging decades of manufacturing experience and expansive networks to capture market share. Meanwhile, newcomers such as Rivian, Fisker, and Canoo carve out niches with bold designs and innovative marketing. Lucid must not only stand out with luxury and performance, but also prove it can scale production and maintain profitability. Analysts and customers alike see Lucid caught in an impossible balancing act, trying to be both a technology pioneer and a mass-market player without the infrastructure or capital of seasoned competitors. This fierce environment makes clear that the electric revolution rewards only the fastest, most reliable, and best funded. Leadership struggles have only worsened these challenges. Despite early investor enthusiasm, Lucid's executives have faced criticism for overambitious projections and governance missteps. Significant turnover and restructuring reflect the difficulty of transitioning a startup to full automotive maturity. Financially, Lucid has reported massive losses, battling cash flow issues while ramping production. Its rapid spending necessitated multiple capital raises, diluting shareholders and increasing pressure to reach profitability in an industry notorious for slim margins. Doubts have grown over whether Lucid's original vision was achievable without stronger backing or strategic partnerships. So what went wrong? Overpromising and under-delivering lie at the heart of Lucid's troubles. The brand's excitement stemmed from high-profile launches and bold claims, performance metrics that dazzled, ranges exceeding 500 miles, and an ability to mass-produce electric vehicles within a few short years. Yet the complexities of manufacturing, regulatory hurdles, and supply chain issues revealed a gap between vision and execution. Unlike established automakers with decades of experience, Lucid navigates a steep learning curve. Its rapid ascent may have outpaced its operational readiness. The critical question remains whether Lucid can slow down, focus on quality and reliability, and still compete in a market where speed and consumer trust are paramount. Despite setbacks, Lucid has one final hope: the ARC Plan, a comprehensive strategic overhaul aimed at stabilizing operations, refocusing priorities, and achieving sustainable growth. This involves scaling back production targets to improve quality control, streamlining product lines, and intensifying development of next-generation electric powertrains and battery technologies. There is cautious optimism that with renewed focus and investment, Lucid might reclaim some of its early promise and secure a profitable niche in luxury electric vehicles. However, time is running out, and the market will not wait. Without swift, effective execution, Lucid risks becoming another cautionary tale in an industry defined by rapid change. Turning from Lucid's struggle, several other brands also face critical survival battles. Some wrestle with electrification transitions, others with dwindling consumer interest and internal uncertainty. The automotive graveyard is growing, filled with once proud marques quietly slipping into obscurity or radical reinvention. Honorable mentions: Jaguar, a name once synonymous with British luxury and sport, finds itself in the midst of a difficult transition toward becoming an all-electric brand. Despite ambitious plans to electrify its lineup fully, Jaguar's current sales are in decline, and the market is saturated with more competitive luxury electric vehicles. The company's parent group, Jaguar Land Rover, faces its own financial pressures, making Jaguar's future uncertain. Buick, an iconic General Motors division, is undergoing a forced evolution, shifting toward electric vehicles in response to regulatory and market pressures. While the brand retains a loyal, older customer base, it struggles to appeal to younger buyers, and its presence in the United States has significantly weakened. Without a clear and compelling identity in the new electric era, Buick risks fading alongside other legacy brands. Polestar, born from the Volvo and Geely partnership, represents an ambitious attempt to create a premium electric brand with Scandinavian roots. Yet Polestar's fortunes are tightly tied to its parent company Geely, which faces its own financial headwinds. Any instability at the parent level could jeopardize Polestar's growth trajectory and market position. These honorable mentions highlight just how tough the road ahead is for the automotive industry, caught between rapid technological change, evolving buyer demands, and worldwide economic pressures. What do you think? Will these brands find a way to reinvent themselves, or are they destined to fade away? Are you ready for a future where only the strongest and most innovative survive? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to stay ahead of the latest shifts reshaping the car world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Your next car decision could depend on it.